Hello everyone, Colin Canet here for Woodwork Web. Today we've got kind of a cool project. We're going to be making some children's toys, and that includes trains, planes, and automobiles. Before we get started, I want to tell you exactly what we're doing. Today we're going to be making functional toys for children ages 2 to about 6 years old. And when we make functional toys, they don't have to have great detail. They only have to have sort of the outline of what the toy is, and the kids will recognize it. But what's really important is the toys need to be easy for the kids to pick up, so they need to be sort of on the smaller side. And they also need to be a little bit lighter, so we want to make them smaller. We want to make them functional so that they roll and that the kids recognize exactly what the toys are. So let's go ahead and get started. The only real parts you're going to need are wheels, and you can make your own. I chose to purchase mine just to save us some time, and I also purchased the little axles, and the reason I did that, if you use screws, what happens is as the wheel turns around, it actually wears away the inside because it acts like a file on the inside of the wood. So if we use wooden axles, they'll basically last forever. So the first thing we're going to make is this cart, and again it's just a simple shape. I'm going to outline what I drew in pencil with a felt pen so you can see that, and we're going to take that now to the table or to the bandsaw and cut that out. But you can see it's just, you know, it works well. Okay, let's cut out the train. For the plane, we have a couple of cuts to make the outline, of course, of the plane, but also we're going to be going from thick to thin, and I'm going to make that, first of all, this cut because I want this to be stable on the bandsaw. So I've readjusted my height, and we'll go ahead and make that cut. And now we can make the outline cut, and I've readjusted my height. So the next thing we need to do is a little bit of sanding so we get rid of the bandsaw marks on here. You could do this by hand. I'm just going to speed up the process and use my sander. The next thing we want to do is to round over the edges, and that does two things. It helps the kids to hang on to the toys better, and it eases the edge so that they don't hurt themselves, and it eliminates the chance of getting slivers. So there's our finished little toy, and I've glued the axles on. I also used a Forstner bit to cut out a window in there, and that's an option. I put that in there so that you can see some of the other things you could do. You could even put in little headlights if you wanted to do that with different colored woods. I've seen that done before. And you know, it rolls easily. It's nice and light, easy, not too wide, easy for the kids to pick up and carry around with them. Just a great little toy. To attach the propeller, I'm just using a Craig pocket hole screw, and you can see that there's no thread close to the head, and that means that it won't grind away the wood inside the propeller. I'll just go ahead and attach that. The only other thing we need to do to the airplane is to attach the wing, and we're going to glue that on there. I'm just putting plenty of glue on there. I've already rounded over the edges, and we'll just put that on there like that. Now I've glued the rear wings on, and you can see that I've glued long grain to long grain, and that's the best way of getting a good adhesion with the glue. So that should, and because I've used oak back here, good strong wood, those should stay on there. They should withstand quite a bit of child's play. Now on our second version of the car, I'm just going to glue this top on here, and we'll let that sit until it's dry, and then we'll carry on putting the wheels and modifying the wheel wells. There's our modified car, and in this one we're going to be cutting some holes out for the wheels to go in so they recess into the body of the car like a car does now. And you can see that I've drilled the holes for the axles, and I've taken some time to align a fence here on my drill press, and in order to find out where the center is, I can see the tip on my Forstner bit, and I can just align it with that, and I've already set the depth gauge. All I need to do now is drill the 4 fender wells. And there's just a different version of the vehicle. You can see that it has the recessed wheels compared to the first one that we made that has the exposed wheels. And you can see that there's a difference in the width, and actually the wheels are just about the same distance apart, which means that the vehicle's pretty stable, which is pretty important for younger kids. Well, there we have it. There's our trains, planes, and automobiles that we've, very simple designs that we've made. Wooden toys for young kids, safe, easy to use, and just a perfect little item for young hands to pick up and move around. Well, that concludes our video on making rudimentary wooden toys for young kids. And you know, they don't have to be super deluxe. Kids will get so much use out of these, and they'll last them a long time. They're good rugged toys, but easy for the kids to play with. And I know a lot of you have grandkids and kids that you could make things like this for, but you know, this is an opportunity also for you to do something else. It's an opportunity. There's a lot of charitable organizations out there who would dearly love to be able to have some toys like this to hand out to the people that depend on them. A lot of families that are in need, and young families would love to be able to have something like this for their kids. So something to think about. I'm Colin Cadet for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching.